everyone, welcome to my vlog. So, time check, it's already 5:58 p.m. here in Japan and I am fresh from school, so as you can see I haven't changed my clothes yet and I'm directly making this video. So for today, what I'm going to vlog is how do I run my English class here in Japan. So if you are already in ALT, then you should be familiar to this already, but if you're not, then this is the reason why I'm making this vlog, to give you an idea of what we do most of the time here in Japan as an assistant language teacher. Okay, so before that, I will explain first the method that we are using in teaching ESL learners. So ESL is what we call English Second Language Learners. That's ESLL. Okay, so I learned this in the training, and I also noticed that what we're using here is the total physical response. That's TPR. So this is actually a method in teaching which is coined by James Asher. So this method is actually more on the whole body reaction teaching method, wherein you are encouraging them to speak out, but first you're just giving them more on understanding by listening, and by that you are like engaging them and so on. If the kids feel like, oh, I know already what is it, then tendency is that they get to involve themselves in the lesson. So you're not forcing your kids, but you are like just encouraging them, but you start this one with listening first and then the rest will follow. So for this one, speaking and more on gestures. Yes. And what I noticed about this also is that for TPR, we don't give directions. We show how you do it, how to do the activity. We just don't tell the kids like, this is what you have to do, but instead we show it to them. So that's the difference. So that's one thing that you should remember. Okay, so for today, I will be sharing to you one of my activities that I do here in Japan. I mean, my lesson plan. So the lesson will be, what time is it? So here, I follow 3 P's. Presentation, practice, and production. So for the presentation, this includes warm-up. That includes the greetings, small talk, and other things that you would like to talk with the kids. Maybe you want to review the lesson. And then for this one, next is you just follow it with an introduction of your lesson. So for example, my lesson is, what time is it? So I'm going to start with a warm-up wherein students will be counting from numbers 1 up to 60. So that's my presentation. So we're going to practice first. So for this one, how do I run this activity? It's just like, first is we practice. We really practice. I have to make sure that my kids are confident already. They're ready already to like do the activity. So I just put like 1 and then followed by 2 and 3 and all the numbers up to 60. And then first is that we have to say the numbers all together. Or and if I hear some kids that are not confident yet, I just repeat, and I just let them, like, I say first and then they repeat after me. Okay, so I level up the game. Actually, my kids really love this game because when I level up this one, I assign every student a number each. So it's like, first student says number 1, the next student says number 2, the third student says number 3, and then goes in back to up to 60. So what I do is that they have to say the numbers in order, one by one, and then I am going to measure the time duration through the use of a timer. So the kids are really into competition. They like competition, especially if you tell them like, oh, you know what, this is the time record or the record of the other class. So because of that, you automatically triggered the the competitive side of the student. So that makes it really fun. Okay, so, and then next, so after making sure that they already know numbers 1 to 60, I actually made this one. These are my materials for numbers 1 to 60, because you know what, I don't want to like write on the board because it takes time, and the warm-up should be just, or the presentation should be just like very slow, and I just keep it in here. I have my box wherein I just put everything, all my flashcards, all my materials like this. Okay, next, when the kids already know numbers, counting numbers 1 to 60, so then you ask them, like, what is a thing that uses numbers 1 to 60? It's a thing, so you just give them clues, hints, and it goes on to, for sure, somebody will say, it's a clock, or it's a watch, and that's ping pong, you got it. So by that, we go directly to the presentation. For the presentation part, you just teach the kids. So like for example, oh everybody, what time is it? And some of the kids will answer it in Japanese, of course. Like they will say, ichiji, niji, sanji. That's sanji is for 3 o'clock. So at least you have to like acknowledge the Japanese, their answers in Japanese. So when they said the answer already, you can just say, oh, you're correct. So everybody repeat after me. It's 1 o'clock. What time is it? It's 1 o'clock. Very good. And then you just go on. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. Very good. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock. Nice. What time is it? It's 4 o'clock. So you know what? They already know how to count. They just need to know, to learn that it's nani nani o'clock. So that's it. Until you go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And you can just level up it by like doing this. Remember, they've learned already numbers from 1 to 60, so this is gonna be easy. So what time is it? So they're just gonna say, it's 12:30 o'clock. So that's it. Now when they know this already, what I usually do is, you know, kids, they like to play. So we go on to the next activity, English activity. Our next English activity is so-called Miss Wolf, what time is it? So if you're familiar with the Japanese games, then you should know Daruma-san ga koronda, or in English, Daruma doll fell down. So in this game, assuming I'm the oni or the it, kung sa Bisaya pa, taya, and then my students are the players. So all of them will be on the back side of the classroom, and then I will be in front of the classroom, and I am looking backwards, and then the students should be asking you, what time is it? And then I can answer any number, like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 12 o'clock. So for example, I say it's 3 o'clock. So the students, in correspond to 3, takes a step forward, a tiny step forward. So you should remember to tell them that it should be a tiny step, not a full step, because some of the kids tend to jump, or like, I don't know, it depends on your style, but for me, I don't want them to jump bigger steps or make a bigger steps, because I find it not exciting at all. So I just tell them like, okay, you just make small steps, baby steps, and usually it works well. And then, so like for example, if they go nearer to you and one student actually touches you in any of your body part, like maybe, but most of the time it should be on the elbow. So it's a time for you to tag someone, and that someone will be the next oni. So you know what? They're just playing, and their minds are just playing, but actually they're already learning the question and answer, like, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so on and so forth. Okay, so that is my practice activity. And another practice activity that you can do is the karuta game. Karuta game, it's very easy. So here, steps. Step 1 is that you just make a pair, or a group of 4, a group of 3, depends on you. And then you just scatter cards cards in there. So on the cards, there should be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I have here a sample card. Here's my sample card. Okay, so actually this doesn't have the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. This has the potato, pumpkin, and grapes. So as tiny as like this, you're just gonna write 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then you just lay down the cards, and then the kids, for example, assuming that they're already on the table, so as what you can see here on this picture. So assuming that they're already on the table or on the floor, the kids put their hands on their head and they ask you, the teacher, or the Japanese teacher who is with you in the classroom, what time is it? And you answer, it's 4 o'clock. And when you say 4 o'clock, they have to get the card as fast as they can. So that means if they get the card, the correct card, it's corresponding to 1 point. So that is what we call the karita game. Okay, so that's for the practice time. Now, this is the crucial one. This is the very important. I tell you, this is the production time. Production time is more on student to student activity. So it should be 90% student and student activity and 10% guidance of the ALT and the HRT. So in this time, what I usually do is I just make an interview game with the students. So they have a worksheet, and then I give them a watch made of paper. So I'm sorry, I did not have that one, but I can just put here a picture of it. So for that game, all students will be having it's like a paper watch, and then in there they can just actually decide what time they like. So it's like for example, for me, I like 12 o'clock because it's lunchtime. That's it. So for that, they're just gonna hold their paper worksheet, their pen or pencil, and their watch. Those are the things that they have to bring, and they go walk around the classroom, and when they walk around the classroom, they get to meet their classmates and then say, they greet first, of course, hello, and then their classmates also say hello, and then after that, they junkin or junkin, jack and poi sa Tagalog, or in Filipino, right? So we just say, rock, scissors, papers, 1, 2, 3. Now the winner is the one who will ask first, so that it's easily decided already. So what time is it? And then the other one answers, and then you can just write it. Okay, it's blah 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 blah, and then in return, vice versa, switch. What time is it? And then it's nani 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 nani, and okay, thank you, goodbye. So by that, just simple activity interview game, the students, they feel like they're just playing, but actually, they are already learning. Now, I know you're afraid like this activity might be not like 100% sure that your kids are really telling or asking and speaking in Japanese, or are they really saying the words correctly? Like, okay, so for this one, how do you interrupt and how do you correct those mistakes? So like for example, if you hear that maybe 2 or 3 of your students are having mistakes, difficulties in doing the activity, you can say, stop! Or, of course, like in my case, I don't want to shout in my class, so I just do the clappings like, and they also clap together with me, and by that time I got their attention already. So with that, I just tell them, everybody please repeat after me. It's like a soft correction. You don't need to like call somebody like, oh, you're not saying it properly, you have to say it like this. Yeah, so it's just a soft correction. So just making sure that everything is working fine, or the production would be really nice, and you have attained your goal. So always remember that the very important thing is the production. But you have to attain the production, but also you have to make sure that your presentation and your practice are perfect as well, and you know that your students are already confident to do the activity. Okay, so that is my example lesson. So that's all. Thank you very much. I hope you have learned something from my sample lesson for today. So these are actually my materials. For what time is it? Now for next vlogs, I will be featuring my other materials in school. I actually have a whole box here. So here I also have Luffy. This is for like when is your birthday. They'll just have to guess like when is your birthday, and it's written actually at the back. It's actually May 5th. And when is your birthday, Conan? And it's June 5th. Yes, so they just, I'm just like getting the interest of my kids. That's why I chose this kind of characters. So, I hope you have learned something from my blog today. Okay, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, 10.